I was doing dishes at midnight because my SIL said the house smelled like failure. I was 3 weeks postpartum. My husband said, "You should be grateful you're not alone." The next morning, I packed my baby's things and left. What I left behind on the kitchen table wasn't just a note. I gave birth on a rainy Thursday night. Emergency C-section. I don't remember most of it because the meds had me so foggy, but I remember the moment they placed her on my chest. My daughter, Sophia. 7 pounds, screaming, red, tiny fingers clutching at the world. I thought Greg would cry. But he just took a few pictures and texted his mom. They kept me in the hospital for 3 days. I needed the extra time to heal and learn how to use the pump because Sophia wouldn't latch right. I was sore, bleeding, cracked nipples, stitches pulling every time I moved. When we got home, I thought it would be better. I thought we'd settle into some kind of rhythm. But it got worse. Megan showed up 4 days after the birth. She knocked once and let herself in like she lived there. She brought some off-brand diapers and a bath bomb for me. I remember thinking it was sweet until I realized she didn't leave. She stayed. She brought her cat. Used our towels. Slept until 11 every morning. Took hour-long showers. She'd coo at Sophia when it was convenient, but never offered to hold her when she was crying. She constantly commented on the mess. The floor's kinda sticky. When's the last time you vacuumed? You know you should be freezing meals in advance. She even asked if I planned to lose the baby weight eventually, while spooning Nutella from the jar. Greg? He laughed. Called her Megs. Said, "You know how she is." No, Greg. I didn't. One night, after Sophia had screamed for 2 hours straight, I came out to find the kitchen a disaster. Plates, food, empty cans. Megan was on her 3rd hard seltzer, watching a true crime show with Greg like they were roommates in college. When I said something about the dishes, Megan said, "You know what this house smells like? Failure. Like dirty laundry and broken dreams." Greg snorted. I stared at him. He didn't say anything. Later, when I was scrubbing dried chili out of a pot at almost 1 a.m., I asked him, "Why are you letting her talk to me like that?" He didn't look away from his screen. You should be grateful you're not alone. That's when something broke in me. Something I didn't even know was holding together. I finished the dishes. I went to bed. I didn't sleep. I lay next to Sophia in the nursery, watching her tiny chest rise and fall. In the morning, I got up before anyone else. I made coffee. I packed Sophia's things. I left. But not before I left something behind. On the kitchen table, I laid down my postpartum discharge papers. Circled the line that said, "Patient appears emotionally unsupported at home." I highlighted the part that said I was still healing. I also left a handwritten invoice. Unpaid labor invoice, 3 weeks postpartum, middle of the night feedings, 56 hours diaper changes, 147 housework done while bleeding, 35 hours meals cooked while holding crying baby, 19 hours showers missed, 14 pain endured without help, unmeasurable total, my body. My sanity. My time. And at the bottom. You'll never get this version of me again. I went to my mom's house. Greg called 5 hours later. I didn't answer. Then came the texts. "Where the F*** are you? You're being dramatic. Megan is worried. I left work to come home, why are you doing this?" Then the guilt. "You can't just take her without talking to me. Do you even care what this is doing to me?" I stayed silent. My mom made me eggs and toast. She took the baby and told me to go nap. I slept 4 hours straight. First time since giving birth. When I woke up, I saw Greg's latest message. "Fine. If you want space, have it. But you need to grow up." That's when I decided. This wasn't going to be a break. This was the start of something else. I got a notebook. I started documenting every call, every message, every expense, every moment. I wasn't going to just walk away quietly. They underestimated what postpartum does to a woman. They were about to learn. I stayed with my mom for 5 days. Every morning, I woke up in the twin bed I used to sleep in as a teenager. My mom had painted the walls beige and replaced the old furniture with calmer, softer things. Sophia slept in a borrowed bassinet next to me. She cooed in her sleep. Her little lips puckered and relaxed. For the first time, I felt like I could breathe. Greg didn't call again until day 3. No apology. Just a voicemail, "We need to talk about custody. I don't think it's fair that you just get to disappear with her." That word, custody, hit different. I hadn't even said I wanted a divorce yet. He went straight for the throat. I called a lawyer the same day. Her name was Marissa Greer. A friend of a friend. She met with me the next morning in her office in Schaumburg. Asked all the right questions. Took notes while I told her everything, from the second Megan arrived to the moment Greg weaponized the word grateful. She didn't blink when I told her about the discharge papers or the invoice. "You have receipts," she said. "That's more than most." She advised me not to go back, not even for clothes. She sent a formal letter to Greg outlining temporary custody and requesting financial disclosure. I didn't even know how much money we had. He handled all of that. The next night, Megan posted a photo on Instagram of her holding Sophia, in my living room. Caption, "My little niece is visiting daddy. Look at that sleepy face." #babylove #anti-life, I saw it at 11 p.m. My stomach flipped. He had taken Sophia for a scheduled 4-hour visit. I hadn't agreed to let her out of his hands. I texted him, "Why is she with Megan?" He replied, "Don't be insane. Megan's family." I didn't sleep that night. Just stared at the ceiling and waited for 8 a.m. when I could call Marissa. Greg had no legal right to leave Sophia with anyone else. She sent him a warning letter. No more unsupervised visits until we had something official in place. That's when things got nastier. Greg started messaging my mom. Telling her I was unwell. That I had postpartum delusions. That I was withholding his daughter. He said I was making a scene because I didn't want his sister helping. He even suggested I had a drinking problem. Said I'd been unstable since the pregnancy. The lies burned. But I didn't fight back, yet. I collected. I gathered texts, emails, messages from friends who'd seen things. I took screenshots. I started a timeline. And I reached out to Megan's ex, Mark. She had lived with him before moving in with us. We weren't close, but I found his email through a tagged photo on Facebook. He replied fast. Said he wasn't surprised. "She did the same thing to me," he wrote. "Moved in, took over, started turning people against me. Told my parents I was abusing her emotionally when I asked her to clean up after herself." He attached screenshots. He sent pictures of the wreck she'd left behind. Messes. Burned pots. Mold in the fridge. Then, in one email, he said, "She's a parasite. You're smart to get away." I printed everything. 2 days later, Greg showed up at my mom's house without warning. Pounding on the front door like a cop. I watched through the curtain. Sophia was sleeping. My mom answered. She blocked the doorway. "You're not welcome here," she said. "I want to see my daughter." "You'll do it through the court." He tried to push past her. She shoved back. I stepped outside. I looked him in the eye for the first time in 2 weeks. "Get a lawyer," I said. "We're done." He sneered. "You'll regret this." I didn't answer. I walked back inside and locked the door. That night, Megan posted another photo. This time it was just her. Wine glass in hand. The caption said, "Some women can't handle real life." Not my fault, she cracked. It had 37 likes. I took a screenshot and forwarded it to Marissa. It wasn't just petty now. It was war. A week after Greg showed up banging on my mom's door, we had our first court hearing. Temporary custody. Marissa came prepared, folder thick with printouts, texts, and a detailed timeline of everything that had happened since the day I gave birth. Greg came with a lawyer who looked like he got hired off a billboard. He wore a smug expression like he thought this would be easy. It wasn't. The judge was a middle-aged woman who didn't smile once. She looked over the file and then asked Greg directly, "Have you at any point allowed your sister to supervise your child without the mother's permission?" Greg started to say something slick, but his lawyer stopped him. He leaned in and whispered. "Yes," Greg finally said, quieter. The judge didn't flinch. "From now until our next hearing, all visits will be supervised, and only by you, Mr. Gaines. No other parties. And no overnight visits until further review." He turned red. I didn't smile. But I wanted to. That night, I got a call from an unknown number. I answered without thinking. It was Megan. "You happy now?" she snapped. "You're seriously playing victim like this? You're not the only one who's tired. We were trying to help you." I didn't say anything. She kept going. "You think taking him to court makes you a hero? You're a joke. A spoiled little crybaby who couldn't handle motherhood." I let her talk. Then I hung up and blocked her. 2 days later, I found something strange. A charge on our joint account, $358.65 at a salon in Evanston. Greg hadn't changed the password yet. I clicked through. It was Megan's name on the appointment. Hair coloring. Nails. A facial. I forwarded it to Marissa. She called back within 10 minutes. "Did you authorize this?" "No." "Good. I'll file a motion to freeze the joint account. If he wants to pay for his sister's spa day, he can do it on his own dime." The next day, the account was locked. That same afternoon, Megan messaged me from a new number, "You're a nasty bitch. Enjoy being broke and lonely." I took a screenshot. I sent it to her old employer. Found the company email through her LinkedIn profile. I attached a polite note, "Thought you should be aware of how your employee uses her time and speaks to others. I'm currently involved in a custody case where she plays a direct role." I never heard back. But 2 weeks later, Megan posted a long, unhinged Facebook rant about getting fired because of jealous haters. I screenshotted that too. Greg started trying to act civil after that. He called Sophia my whole world in every message. Sent baby clothes. Offered to drop off diapers. I ignored it. He wasn't trying to be better. He was trying to look better. Then came the twist I didn't expect. One night, I got a call from a blocked number. A woman. She introduced herself softly. Said her name was Alicia. She asked if I was still married to Greg. I paused. "We're going through a separation." "Who is this?" She hesitated. Then she said it. "I've been seeing him for over a year. I just found out he has a kid. He never told me. I only figured it out because I saw your name on a piece of mail at his place." My throat went dry. She kept talking. Said she'd met Megan. Said Megan called me unstable and barely fit to raise a baby. That Greg told her we were separated already when they started dating. I asked her if she'd be willing to make a statement. She said yes. She emailed it the next day. Signed and dated. I printed it out. Added it to the folder. When Marissa saw it, she nodded slowly. "This changes a lot. Greg wasn't just an inattentive partner. He was a manipulator. A liar. And the walls were starting to close in. The next court date was 3 weeks later. By then, the pile of evidence Marissa had collected looked like a novel. Screenshots of texts. Financial records. The unpaid labor invoice. Megan's messages. Alicia's signed statement. Greg didn't look so smug this time. He came in wearing a wrinkled shirt, no tie. His lawyer spoke more carefully now, like he knew the ground was soft and cracking beneath them. The judge reviewed everything. She asked Greg about the salon charge. He said he didn't remember it. She asked about Alicia. He paused too long. Finally, he said, that was a misunderstanding. We weren't serious. Then she asked the question I'd been waiting for. Have you taken steps to provide physical and emotional support to the mother of your child during postpartum recovery? He tried to pivot. Said we had different communication styles. That tensions were high. The judge interrupted him. Mr. Gaines, I'm asking if you offered help. Not excuses. He stuttered. No, he finally admitted. She turned to me. Have you been Sophia's sole caretaker since birth? Yes, I said. My voice didn't shake. That's when it happened. She granted me full physical custody. Greg would get every other weekend, supervised. He was ordered to pay child support and contribute to postpartum medical costs. She gave him 30 days to vacate our house. Megan was explicitly barred from being near Sophia without a court-approved supervisor. Greg didn't look at me. I didn't smile. But I felt something uncoil in my chest for the first time in months. Peace. When I got home, I found a box on the porch. No note. It was Greg's wedding ring. Inside the band, I'd had it engraved when we got married. Let us choose each other again, daily. The irony tasted like metal. I threw it in the trash. The next week, Megan went fully unhinged online. Posted a story about how I ruined her life, lied to a judge, and stole a child from her brother. She claimed she was targeted for being outspoken. Nobody believed her. Especially not after I posted one picture. Just me, holding Sophia in the sunshine, smiling for real this time. Caption, doing just fine. Within a month, Megan disappeared from all social media. I heard she moved to Iowa to live with an aunt. Apparently, no one in town would hire her after her old boss saw those screenshots. Greg moved in with his dad. His fancy job let him go quietly, due to personal instability. Alicia told me he'd borrowed money from her. Never paid it back. She blocked him too. And me? I started therapy. Joined a postpartum support group. Went back to school part-time online. But the real closure came 6 months later. Greg tried to file for more custody. Tried to say I was alienating him. He submitted a single email where I told him to stop texting me about Megan. Claimed it proved I was hostile. The judge didn't even blink. She denied his motion. Then she said, "Consider yourself lucky this child has a mother who kept her safe." Game over. After the hearing, I walked out of the courtroom with Sophia on my hip. She had her tiny fist wrapped around my necklace. She was safe. I was free. And every person who tried to silence me? They're still sitting in the mess they made. Alone. Just like they said I should be.